Hmm?
Are there no any like buzzing sound?
Yeah, no buzzing sound
Oh,
today.
okay, that's great.
It's
A
clear.
relief.
Yeah, everything is okay. So, eating disorders. Research into hunger motivation has at least one very important practical application. Eating disorders. Many researchers seek to apply what we know about hunger and eating to treat individuals with harmful eating patterns. The following list the three most common eating disorders. So, when we get this, like when you're really, really stressed, we easily crave some like eating. So we are like have some tendency to eating more and more. Is it
Mm,
right? Yeah,
right, I agree with that.
yeah. So that's why we just can have some eating disorders. The most common eating disorder type is bulimia. So, have you seen this kind of people, bulimia? So,
Not the person, but I've heard of this one, this condition, bulimia.
yeah, so actually, there are a lot of people, but they just take stock and then they are not willing to go outside, so we cannot see them well.
Mm.
But like some bulimics eat a large amount of money in a short period of time, binging, and then get rid of the food, purging by vomiting. So they just to like this eating habit is really really harm their health like condition, especially gastronomy and excessive exercise or the use of Rexall types. In Korea, there's more and more women suffer from bulimia, this disease.
Oh.
Yeah, because these people usually obsessed about like good body looking. So, but they cannot control their eating like appetite needs. So they eat large of food and then right after just to try to get rid of food.
Mm.
Yeah, these people are obsessed with food and their weight. They're really obsessed their weight. They're almost crazy about losing weight, but they cannot control eating. So that's why they just call this kind of disease. The majority of bulimics are mostly women. Yeah, not female. Female, not male. And the other type is second type is anorexia nervosa. Anorexics starve themselves to below 85% of their normal body weight and refuse to eat due to their obsession with weight. Some anorexia nervosa, and anorexics are very skinny.
Mm.
Although they are skinny, they deny to eat something. Yeah, also most like anorexics are women, not men. Yeah, I think these are social disease because of some prejudice about weight, like or fear of gaining weight. They
Mm.
do like that. What do you think?
Yeah, it's mostly women. Women are more conscious to weight than men.
Yeah. So I think it's so sad. Yeah, and obesity. People with diagnosed obesity are severely overweight, often by over 100 pounds, and the excess weight threatens their health. Obese people typically have unhealthy eating habits rather than the food obsessions of the other two disorders. Mm. Mm. They have unhealthy eating habit. Mm. So I have some kind of obesity, not that serious, but just a little bit obesity. I have a little bit unhealthy eating habit, cause yeah. Some people may also be genetically predisposed to obesity. Yeah. Many researchers are investigating the causes of eating disorders. Different cultures have drastically different rate of eating disorder, possibly due to the emphasis on body weight emphasized in the culture. Mm. Body weight emphasized in the culture. Mm. Eating disorder rates are highest in the United States. Oh, in the United States, they are the highest, and possibly for this reason. Mm. And research also identifies a family history of eating disorders as a risk factor, indicating a potential genetic component. Hmm. Researchers agree that eating disorders are influenced by a complex set of factors and are not merely a lack of willpower about food. There's many factors. It is kind of like mixed, like genetic, not only genetic, and but also like socialized factors. And next one is sexual motivation. Sexual motivation are vital for the continuation of any species. One of the primary tasks for most living organisms is reproduction. Since humans are one of the most complex living organisms, our sexual motivations are correspondingly complex. Like hunger, sex is motivated by both biological and psychological factors. And sexual response cycle. The famous lab studies done by William Masters and Virginia Johnson documented the sexual response life cycle in men and women. Our sexual response progresses through four stages. First stage is initial excitement, and genital area become engulfed with blood, penis becomes erect, clitoris swells, restoration, and heart rate increase. And second, plateau phase. Respiration and heart rate continue at an elevated level. Genitals secrete fluid in preparation for coitus and orgasm. Rhythmic genital contraction that may help conception, respiration, and heart rate increase further. Male ejaculator often accompanied by a pleasurable euphoria. And resolution phase. respiration and heart rate returns normal resting states, men experience a refractory period, a time period that must elapse before another orgasm. Women do not have a similar refractory period and can repeat the cycle immediately.
Oh.
Yeah, cause like the difference between male and female reflow like cycle, different cycle. Like some couple they argue, like for example, um, men experience a refractory period first. I mean, like resolution phase first, and then later women like feels orgasm later. So the interval is really different between men and women.
So they don't meet.
Yeah, yeah. And psychological factors in sexual motivation. Unlike many animals, our sexual desires in is not motivated strictly by hormones. Many studies demonstrate that sexual motivation is controlled to get a great extent by psychological rather than biological sources. Mm, mm. Sexual desire can be present even when the capability to have sex is lost. Mm. Accident victims who lose the ability to have sex still have sexual desires. Oh, somewhat like that. And erotic material can inspire sexual feeling and physiological responses in men and women, including elevated levels of hormones. The interaction between our physiology and psychology create the myriad of sexual desire we see in society and ourselves. How old is legal per like I mean per the teenagers or the per the people in the Philippines? How old is the?
Like to engage in sexual act?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I don't know, but legally it should be like above 18.
above
But yeah,
18.
teenagers nowadays, they do they do that even when they're underage
Yeah, but
because of what we see on television.
yeah, yeah. But if like more than 18, so they are adult up, they're like grown up adult, they have sex like below than 18, is it is illegal, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
but some of them they don't just tell it to anyone. They keep it a secret.
Yeah, yeah. So it is very like common in Korea as well. So
Mm.
it is really social problem actually. But we cannot catch all the couples like because they are hidden and they kept secret.
Mm.
So it is really difficult to find out, to figure out.
Yeah, they're curious.
Yeah, yeah. Is it really common in the Philippines?
Yeah, I think it's common, especially in cities where there are a lot of teenagers or like the Gen Z nowadays. They're
Yeah,
into like
Yeah, because they just have sex for fun, like
Exactly.
playing baseball or playing soccer. They
Yeah.
do sex, for fun. So they have no guilty killing, no guilty feeling, no shame. So it is really serious problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
agree with that.
yeah. Are you like a churchgoer?
Yeah.
Then like the church teach like not to have sex, uh, like between or just to we are. I'm also go to church and the pastor and the Bible says it is really like bad behavior. So, but uh, like modern society, most of people who don't believe God and Bible, they just follow the secular culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like there are many like perspectives of like sex. So, I cannot say like whether the behavior is bad, like uh, like so uh, lovely, but yeah, usually more and more teenagers have like sex for fun, and then they don't never any guilty. Yeah, that's so sad. Yeah.
It's like a trial and error for them to
Yeah.
meet someone compatible for them.
Yeah. Are you a Catholic or just a Protestant?
I'm a Catholic.
Catholic. Okay.
Yeah, so my parents are also conservative.
Yeah. So, but like, although there are some people who have their own religious, like Catholic or Protestant or something, but they easily break the rule, break the we, cause we have 10 commandments, but
Mm.
they don't follow the command, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. As attention, sexual orientation. As attention and controversy about sexual orientation issues increase, so does research about homosexuality. Researchers like Alfred Kinsey, who documented the variety of human sexual behaviors in the famous Kinsey Report, have been able to dispel some common myths about what it means to be homosexual. Studies show that homosexuality is not related to traumatic child experiences, parenting styles, the quality of relationship with parents, masculinity or femininity, or whether we are raised by heterosexual or homosexual parents. Although some researchers believe environmental influences probably affect sexual orientation, these factors have not yet been identified. Mm. And researchers have identified possible biological influences, however. Some studies indicate the specific brain structure might differ in size in brains of homosexuals when they compared with the same structure in heterosexuals. Twin studies indicate a genetic influence on sexual orientation. since a twin is much more likely to be gay if his or her identical twin is gay. Some researchers theorize that hormones in the womb might change brain structure and influence sexual orientation. Since 3 to 10% of the population worldwide is homosexual, 3 to 10%, research in this area will certainly continue. And the causes of sexual orientation will become more clear. But it is like we don't know. Well, let me see. And social motivation. So far, we have described the research regarding the motivation behind some relatively simple human behaviors. Such as eating and sex. What motivates the more complicated behaviors? Such as taking a psychology exam, your attitudes and goal, the society you live in, and the people you surround yourself with also affect what you are motivated to do. Yes, I really agree. And achievement motivation. Achievement motivation is one theory that tries to explain the motivation behind this more complex behavior. Achievement motivation examines our desire to master complex tasks and knowledge and to reach personal goals. Humans and some other animals seem to be motivated to figure out our world and master skills, sometimes regardless of the benefits of the skills or knowledge. Studies in achievement motivation find that some people have high achievement motivation and consistently feel motivated to challenge themselves more than do other people. Yes, I think so. They always set the bar a little higher and seek greater challenges. Obviously, this varies not only from person to person, but from activity to activity. Not many people are motivated to achieve in every aspect of life. In fact, enough time probably is not available. However, studies that measure achievement or motivation do indicate a higher than average achievement motivation in some people.
I agree with this one.
Yeah, I also agree. Me, me too. And intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Another way to think about the social factors that influence motivation is by dividing them into intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. Extrinsic motivators are reward that we get for accomplishment from outside ourselves. For example, grades, salary, and so on.
Mm.
Intrinsic motivators are rewards we get internally, such as enjoyment or satisfaction. And what about you? Are you a intrinsic motivator or extrinsic motivator?
Now, before it was extrinsic motivation for me, but nowadays it's more like intrinsic
Yeah, me
motivation
too.
for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, me too. So like when I was young, I was like extreme motivator because I really like keen of getting reward from my parents or school. But
Mm.
like later after grown up, I'm more likely interested in work or study, like more innate like motivation, like enjoyment and self-satisfaction. Okay, think about your own motives regarding the AP psychology exam. Are you internally or externally motivated or both? Actually, I can say I'm motivated both.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you taking the test to get the grade and possible college credit? Or are you internally motivated to gain the knowledge and challenge yourself by taking a difficult test? I'm both actually. Yeah.
Both nowadays.
Yeah. Knowing what type of motivation an individual respond best to can give managers and other leaders insight into what strategies will be most effective. Yeah, I think the leaders have to know. Yeah. Psychologists working with people, managing work groups in government, business, or other areas might test and evaluate group members per intrinsic or extrinsic motivation and try to alter group policies accordingly. Studies show that if we want an advantageous behavior to continue, intrinsic motivation is most effective. Extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivations are very effective for a short period of time. Inevitably, though, the extrinsic motivations and so will the desired behavior unless some intrinsic motivation continues to motivate the behavior. Okay, let's see. And management theory. Some researchers research into how managers behave is closely related to intrinsic, extrinsic motivation. Studies of management styles show two basic attitudes that affect how managers do their jobs. Theory X, Theory Y. Let's see Theory X. Managers believe that employees will work only if rewarded with benefits or threatened with punishment. Hmm. Hmm. Theory Y. Managers believe that employees are internally motivated to do good work and policies should encourage this internal motive. Cross-cultural studies show that the benefit of moving from a theory X attitude about employees to a theory Y attitude. Mm. Some companies hire consultants from other countries to teach their managers how to promote intrinsic motivation in employees. I think like more and more countries which develops more and more, they like to have some tendency. Just the graph is moving theory X to theory Y.
I agree to this.
Yeah. And when motives conflict, sometimes what you want to do in a situation is clear to you, but at other times you no doubt find yourself conflicted about what choice to make. Mm. Psychologists discuss four major types of motivational conflicts. The first, named an approach conflict, occurs when you must choose between two desirable outcomes. For instance, imagine that for spring break one of your friends invite you spend the week in Puerto Rico and another asks you to go to San Francisco. Assuming that both choices appeal to you, you have a conflict because you can only do one. Another type of conflict, an avoidance conflict, occurs when you must choose between two unattractive outcomes. If one weekend your parents were to give you a choice between staying home and cleaning out the garage or going on a family trip to visit some distant relatives, you might experience an avoidance conflict. Mm. An approach avoidance conflict exists when an event or goal has both attractive and unattractive features. If you were lactose intolerant, an ice cream cone would present such a conflict. The taste of ice cream is appealing, but its effects on you are not. Mm. Finally, people experience multiple approach avoidance conflict. Multiple approach and avoidance conflict. In this, you must choose between two or more things, each of which have both desirable and undesirable features. Mm. You may well face such a conflict in choosing which college to attend. Of the schools at which you have been accepted, University A is the best academically, but you do not like its location. University B is close to your family and boyfriend or girlfriend, but you would like to go someplace with better weather. University C has the best psychology department, hopefully one of your favorite subjects, but you visit the campus and find it less than attractive. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. The series about emotion. Our emotional state is closely related to our motivation. In fact, imagining one without the other is difficult. Can you imagine wanting to do a behavior without an accompanying feeling about the action? Emotion influences motivation, and motivation influences emotion. Psychologists investigate emotional states and create theories that try to explain our emotional experiences. James Lange versus Cannonball. One of the earliest theories about emotion was put forth by William James and Carl Lange. They theorized that we feel emotion because of biological changes caused by stress. So when the big bad wolf jumped out of the woods, Little Red Riding Hood's heart raced, and this physiological change causes her to feel afraid. Walter Cannon and Philip Barr doubted this order of events. They demonstrated that similar physiological changes correspond with drastically different emotional states. When Little Red Riding Hood's heart races, how does she know if she feels afraid, in love, embarrassed, or merely joyful? They theorize that the biological change and the cognitive awareness of emotional state occur simultaneously. Cannon thought the thalamus is responsible for both the biological change and the cognitive awareness of emotion. cannot believe that when the thalamus received information about our environment, it's simultaneously to our purpose and to our autonomic nervous system, creating the awareness of emotion and the physiological change at the same time. Recent research shows Canon overestimated the role of the thalamus in this process. Many other brain structures, such as the amygdala, are also involved. Mm. I think cause we have 4 minutes left, but let's call it a day because I want to go to toilet. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
I see.
So, uh, what about see you tomorrow at the same time today?
7 p.m.
Yeah.
or 6:50.
Yeah, 6:50.
Okay, we can start at 6:50 then.
Okay. Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for today.
Yeah.
Bye.